Okay, so these are the 3 steering wheels that are currently available. This top wheel, this is for drifting only. And when you do a drift car, you get this wheel, which has no paddle shifters, no buttons, because when you use that wheel, you're gonna be using the handbrake and you're gonna be using the sequential shifter. And for drifting, because the wheel can spin, so many times, these wheels all have this cord that has the power that goes through it for all the buttons. We obviously can't have that with the drift wheel because it spins around so much it would unplug the cable. So that's the drift wheel. If you want that, you'll get that for drifting. Okay, so then this is the wheel that most people will use. This is for every car that we have. We'll work with this wheel. So on this wheel, this is for brake bias to the rear. So if you're driving a car that has adjustable brake bias, then, let's say you're driving it and you notice that when you hit the brakes, it locks up the front wheels, but not the rear. You can push this button, click, 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 and each time you do that, it changes the percentage of brake force. It makes it go to the rear. And this one here makes it go to the front. Okay, so you can adjust your brake bias, and there's a little display on the screen. If your car has brake bias, it will show on the top of the screen what percentage that it is at. This here is for KERS, and KERS stands for Kinetic Energy Recovery System. So some cars have an electric battery with a boost that like an electric motor that boosts the power, and when you push this, it will give increased acceleration and top speed as long as you have energy in the system. And I will show you a car that has that and give you an example. I'll show you that right now. Okay, I am in the LMP1 ProTech P91 Evo. And the car, that's what it's called in our system, but it's actually a Porsche 919 Evo. It is a very fast car. It has KERS, Kinetic Energy Recovery System. And when you push this red button here, that gives you a big boost of power. So I want you to notice up here where it has the gear you're in, it has kilometers per hour speed. And you can see, let's see if you can see it there. You can see there's a yellow bar and there's a green bar. The yellow bar is for MGUH, which we're not set up for, but the green is for how much kinetic energy you have available to you. So you'll see the extra speed. So I'm gonna go on the Nürburgring, and when I get to that long straightaway, I'm gonna show you what my maximum speed is without the KERS and with the KERS to give you an idea of what it can do. Okay, here we're coming up to the straightaway. Okay, we're in top gear right now. You can see the car struggling a little bit at 315. I'm going to push the button now. Okay, so you can see that I got like an extra 50 kilometers per hour top speed by pushing that button, but you can see how it depleted that green, and every time you hit the brakes, it recharges the green a little bit. So that is just a little tip on if you have a car with KERS, use that red button, get yourself some extra speed. Okay, so now you've seen how that car, you push this and it has way more acceleration as long as that green in around the gear you're in, as long as it's green, then you have the extra power. This is for DRS. DRS, this yellow button, DRS stands for drag reduction system. So some cars have a high downforce wing on them that when you push this, it opens up the wing and it allows you to have more top speed. You have less cornering power when you push that, but you have more top speed. So that's another thing. Some cars have that. Most cars do not have that. That is a rare one to use that one for. This one's a little more common. This is traction control. So this is traction control positive, more, and this is traction control negative. Anytime you get in a car, before you start out, you should see if you have traction control, so you can turn that up or down. Lower the number is for the lower the skill. The easy way to remember that is the lower the number, the lower the skill level. So if your skill level is a 1, you should set your traction control to 1. And as your skill levels increase, then you can turn the numbers up. And it will show on the screen when you adjust that, it'll show you what number you're at. Some cars don't have that adjustability, but if you do have that, I would suggest you start out, like automatically, it's gonna start out somewhere in the middle. So if you have 12 settings, it's probably gonna start you at a 5 or a 6 automatically without you even adjusting anything. But you can adjust it up or down from there. And then as your skill levels increase, you can turn the traction control level up, or you can turn it right off. ABS is the same way. The lower your skill level on the Sims, then the lower number that you would use for ABS. Personally, even though I have thousands of laps on the Sims, I always turn ABS to 1. And 1 has the most control, and it does the least amount of lockup when you hit the brakes. So that is the standard wheel. These buttons don't do anything. Don't worry about those. These little blue ones, those don't do anything either. Don't worry about those. This is our Formula One wheel. So when you use the Formula One wheel, you have a couple of extra options. So you still have traction control there, ABS control there, and this is brake bias. So this button here controls your brake bias forward and back, all right? And you have your KERS, kinetic energy recovery, on that button, and you have your DRS on that button, okay? And this down here, extra, some cars are turbocharged, and you, on the turbocharged cars, on many of them, you can decrease your boost level or increase your boost level. If you get in and you push that button, it'll show up on the screen what your level of boost is at. The Lotus 98T Formula One car is an example that normally that car would just have 60% boost, but you can push this up all the way to 100% boost. And when you push that 100% boost, well, hang on, you're in for a ride, because that car does not have traction control or ABS brakes, but you'll see what I mean with that thing. So those are the different steering wheels that we have. These other buttons are disabled, so don't worry about those. And yeah, so most cars are going to be the best with this wheel. If you're on the odd Formula One car, you might want that wheel, but typically all cars, including Formula One cars, when I drive Formula One cars, I still drive with this wheel because it has everything I want on it except for the additional turbo boost.